All right, so our final main topic here today, guys, is going to be about the Zack Snyder zombie movie that's coming to Netflix. There's been a little bit of news with it because last week or the week before, I can't remember which one it was. We got word that they were going to be reshooting Chris D'Elia's part because of all the allegations that are going on with him right now. So they're actually just completely reshooting his entire role, replacing him with a completely different person. It's actually going to be an actress portraying a different character in place of him. So still interested in however that's going to turn out. But now we've got news, which this is kind of interesting, Rick. This has nothing to do with that. They actually are planning a prequel and anime series with this Army of the Dead movie, which we granted don't know a whole lot about other than just like the kind of synopsis here, where it's there's a zombie outbreak in Vegas, and there's a group of mercenaries who venture into a quarantine zone to pull off a big heist. That's literally the only information we really have about this movie, other than the big cast that's in it and everything. And the cast is pretty cool. There's a lot of, Dave Bautista's in there, and then Michael Jai White's in there. There's a lot of people in the movie. It's a big cast, but I just find it interesting that because this was the main thing that I was kind of concerned about before with them doing the going through all the process of like completely removing Chris D'Elia out of the movie, like what kind of impact that would have on the overall quality of the film, just going forward. Because like the main thing, like I just want the movie to be good by any means, and like I kind of said last week or before, whatever it was, when we were talking about this, Zack Snyder made a pretty damn good zombie movie in Dawn of the Dead back in the day, and that had me like excited to see him return back to this this zombie world, the zombie genre, because I did like his Dawn of the Dead remake. I thought it was pretty good.
It'll be interesting, yeah.
And what kind of like I just find it interesting that they're already planning a prequel movie and this anime series after it. So it makes me think like they think this is a good movie at that point. You know what I mean? Like I would feel like they would have to think
they're already making like an anime prequel.
Yeah, they're making they're
working
a prequel movie and then an anime series. I don't recall if there's too much information about the anime series as much as I think it's going to follow the same story to the prequel. The prequel is essentially going to follow one of the characters in the movie. The guy is
Ludwig Dieter.
Yeah, the actual guy's name is even harder to pronounce.
Matthias Schweighöfer?
Yes.
Matthias Schweighöfer.
Yeah, so he's going to be directing the movie and everything too.
Oh, wow.
So he's the prequel and he's directing the prequel, and that's who the character's going to be focused on. It's his character from the Army of the Dead movie itself.
Yeah.
So like, but we don't know anything about the character because we haven't seen the movie yet, obviously. So like, we'll see. But like I said, it's interesting because it must be everyone on Netflix and everybody must have seen this movie to some capacity enough to think it's good enough for them to want to continue the world on.
That's pretty interesting.
So like that gives me some hope that they struck something good here. Because I said it before, man. The zombie genre is something that's been completely played out, and like especially with The Walking Dead going on for as long as it did, and that was like in the focal, like no other.
That went on for way too long.
It did. It really did, and it was never super. It honestly wasn't very.
I remember
started off
the first
real
couple
good
seasons with you, and like after a while, it's just like
it just kept dragging on, and I don't know, man. Like I don't know. I lost interest in it very quick, and then like. But the only things that came out really during that time, zombie wise, and I probably missed some stuff here, but it really was just like Walking Dead and World War Z, because it like were the only things that really happened with zombie stuff in the last like couple of years. Then Train to Busan, which we just talked about, which I finally watched, and like it was super good, but it was like a nice, fresh kind of like look on. I don't know.
was good.
It was really good. Like Train to Busan is really good. So like I'm looking forward to like that sequel coming out for Peninsula. That looks. I mean, if it's as good as Train to Busan in any way, then like I'm excited to watch that. And but yeah, that more so than anything, I've just been wanting to see some good zombie stuff because, like I said, like the genre itself has just kind of been like played out.
Oh,
it's just like you've seen so much of it, and like one of the things like I just like kind of bored me with The Walking Dead, for instance, was just like all the zombies were just kind of mundane and just like it wasn't even like never felt like a real threat. And the whole I know the whole like
They were just kind of there.
yeah, it was just like they were like ambience, you know what I mean? And
Yeah. That wasn't even like the biggest part of the show, like problem wise or anything
right,
like that. Yeah.
which I totally get because like with The Walking Dead, the main story like kind of portrays it to where it's supposed to be like the real threat is the humans that remain.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of the zombies are just kind of there in the background, and like so I totally get that. Like I
Something to
get it.
do. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
but I like the kind of like the return of zombies. That's why like I thought World War Z was actually kind of cool because like those zombies were like spooky, man.
yeah.
Like and then that's kind of the
They were
cool thing.
wild.
They were wild. They were super fast. They were super strong, kind of thing. And like
Like,
that's cool. That's actually like scary, you know. And that's kind of how like Train to Busan was with a lot of it because these like were fresh zombies, so like
yeah.
they could move quicker. That they weren't like rotting corpses and stuff, which is
That's what
like,
I never understood about The Walking Dead.
right. Well, that's kind of thing with like all zombies. It's like how are you
How do
all
you have
walking?
like the equilibrium to stand up and have balance? How do your muscle tendons and things like that support the weight? It's just there's a lot of questions.
Yeah, the physiology of a zombie is like confusing as
It
to
doesn't
how
make
it would
sense
function. Exactly.
unless there's like
Exactly.
magic involved.
Right, which when The Walking Dead, you know, is not the case, and it's just
No.
a bunch of like rotting corpses, and, like whatever. And like I said, they're very like unimposing. Like they just kind of they just
They're slow moving. They're dumb. They're
yeah,
just yeah.
and that's what. So I'm hoping that this is a little bit different, and it's like an actual threat, you know, because that's like I don't know, it's more exciting. There's more stakes when it's like these things ain't fucking around. You know, kind of
No,
like how like World War Z, but then like I Am Legend, how those
those
zombies
are pretty sketchy.
zombies, you know, like they weren't
Whatever
just
they
like
were.
zombies. They were almost more like vampires and stuff. They were like weird,
Yeah,
like their own thing. But like they were like super strong and like they. That's more spooky to me than like some rotting corpse over there. I can just go hit with a baseball
I
bat.
remember
And
that
like, call it
scene
a
where they
day.
first show them all like hunching over in that dark room, and they're all like moving in unison, just like like
Mhm.
that was sketchy.
It's
In I
weird,
Am
dude.
Legend,
Yeah,
like
it's weird. And then the scene with the dog, man, not good, man.
really?
And then we got our
Oh,
first tease of Batman vs Superman in that movie.
yeah,
You know,
I
so
remember that.
I remember when that happened. I was just like, dude,
Superman.
and nothing happened. Like
When did that
nothing.
come out?
I Am Legend.
Yeah,
2000s at some point.
yeah, it
I
was like
forget when. Let me look it up. Hold on.
because that would had nothing. Did that tease have anything to do with the actual movie?
No,
I was
came
gonna
out
say they just like
2007.
yeah. So that hadn't. That was I was still in high school.
No, because even in that logo, it was the old like rounded Batman, like same logo they would use in like Batman Forever and everything,
Yeah,
like that
yeah.
same kind of logo. Uh, but yeah, nothing to do with anything that came after it, but it was just like it was cool to see, in my
It
opinion.
was a cool like yeah little
A little like
callback to it.
but eventually we did get a Batman or Superman movie of some kind. So
True,
like
true.
they called it. They called it first, man. Honestly, too, like with I Am Legend, 2007 doesn't seem like. I mean, I guess at this point it was like 13 years ago, but it wasn't. It didn't feel like. I don't know. It felt like when you think of when Batman or Superman came out in like 2012, it was only like 5 years after.
Yeah,
Like, and then in like the movie world, that's really like it's a like kind of a long time, but like B really not that long of a time considering like a lot of sequels are like 2 years after the fact.
yeah.
So like in some ways, it like I don't know, it doesn't seem like it was really that long ago, but then when you think like, well, I guess that was 13 years ago, then it does seem like a pretty long time. So I don't
True,
know.
true.
But anyways, main point is with the Army of the Dead stuff. I'm just excited at the fact that I don't feel like they wouldn't be going through with this prequel stuff and this anime stuff if they didn't feel like what they had was good.
Yeah, there was
You
no
know?
confidence in
Yeah, so
the
what it
property.
shows to me is that they do, in fact, have confidence in this movie. They like what they saw. They liked what Zack did. And like I said last time we were talking about this, Zack Snyder deserves a goddamn win. So, especially with hopefully this and then his Snyder cut of Justice League are just like, you know, changes the narrative of all the bullshit that he's had to deal with people. So, you
Yeah,
know, because like I like Zack Snyder. I like all his movies.
no, for sure.
I didn't really care for Sucker Punch, but
Sucker Punch was weird.
looked cool.
Yeah, it did look.
It looked good. So I don't know. So, anyways, guys, what do you think about Army of the Dead getting a prequel series and an anime series? You kind of agree with us that, like, yeah, that if anything, just shows that they have confidence in the Army of the Dead movie. Whatever it is, just let us know down in the comment section below.